friends, today we are feeding our worms. It's been a week. We have a lot of food to give them. I'm really excited to see how much food is left. If you guys remember the last feeding, they got quite a bit more food than I think I normally give them. But as Michael has posted in the comment section, which I appreciate, they can eat more in the warmer summer months. So maybe that's what's going on. Maybe my population is growing. I like to think it's a bit of both. This week I have, it's now defrosted, an assortment of tubes of food, a lot of berries, carrots, random celery, a little of this, little of that. So we are going to get started. All right, we're starting on tier 2. Our newish tier, if you guys recall, this is a essentially coconut coir free tier. They are just mostly living off of the cardboard and food. Last week they were fed an apple somewhere in this area. Oh, here it is, with the mites on it, evidently. So they still have food. There's a lot, obviously there's a lot in here going on. There's cardboard, there's worms, there's random paper towels and stuff, and I see them a little bit everywhere. So I'm not going to add food to this layer, and since they're clearly still working on it, and for those of you who missed it, there aren't a lot of worms in here. We just kind of added worms, like a scoop or two from this one, a scoop or two from that tier. So yeah, I don't want to overfeed them because I know there's not a lot of worms in here. So that's easy. We just wrote that down in our notes, which brings us to tier 4. Now, according to my notes last time, tier 4, got 3 rolls of food. So it's time to check and see if they ate it all. Now, those of you who are new to my channel or maybe don't recognize, I usually put paper towels that are used over where I fed them. So we're going to start looking there. I truthfully didn't really generate a lot of Brown's waste, carbon's waste this week. So I'm going to try really hard not to add any to the bins if I can't avoid it. So this is where I'm pretty sure I thought I fed them. Well, here we go. We buried it really deep in here. There's like crazy great worm party happening here, but I don't really see any food scraps. I can see like parts of the toilet paper roll. Okay, so they're great. They're doing good. This layer makes me, there's no real bedding left from what I'm sure there's coconut coir mixed in here, but I'm not really seeing a lot of the traditional bedding. So I'm just kind of having fun feeding these guys and seeing where, everything plays out. Let's see what's down here. Oh yeah. All right. So they got some old toilet paper rolls over there. So we're going to feed on the right side this time. And I am, like I said, trying to use these little paper elements to cover these up this week because I'm really low on them. So we're going to hope we can bury this in here. I am also going to add a random tea bag in just because I'm curious and I need to use them up. They're old and moldy. So this one is going to also get 3 toilet paper rolls again because clearly that was plenty for them last time. Kind of regret letting these thaw out so much, but I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, there's like all sorts of random stuff in here. So we'll just throw that in there. And for good measure, I'm gonna bury them as best as I can in here with the existing paper towels and whatnot. I think that'll be okay. Past me forgot to remove an avocado tag. Everybody's done it. I just seem to do it a lot more. Alright, so tier 4 is good. Since they are demolishing the food really quickly, I don't really want to start starving this tier for harvest because I'm sure I could fit more in here, and it's been a while. This tier has been running for a long time. but it's running so well right now. I just don't, I feel like whenever I get them going and they're going really strong, then I end up having to stop and start harvesting and starving them. So I'm gonna let them run longer and see what happens from there. Also, I do just have this random paper towel that I would feel better covering them with, just because I don't want bugs. Who does? All right, so that brings us to tier 3. Oops, sorry little guy, I think you're going the wrong way. All right, tier 3, last week, got 2 rolls because I still had some leftover grapes, apparently. So my notes say. So right off the bat, we're just gonna toss a tea bag in, let them do their worm magic. So the grapes last time we checked were over here, if I recall correctly. Maybe not, I don't know, but there's a lot of worms, which is good. Means they're healthy and they're happy. They're doing good. Just kind of digging around to see if I don't want to feed them if there's food in here, but I'm not really seeing a lot of food. So we'll proceed like the other tier 4, and we'll just feed them in the same side over here, the right side. I'll make sure you guys can see. So let's try to decide what I want to do here. So I got this roll. I'm gonna try and see if I can pick up this one without it breaking. Unfortunately, I let them defrost too much, so they're not really holding together super great, because obviously they're all wet and squishy now. So I'm just gonna put some of this in here, I guess. And then, you know, I think what I want to do, yes, we're gonna do this. So I'm just gonna put some of this kind of wet, mushy food in here. I'm gonna cover this up, but I don't want to put this back in the freezer with just the one roll. So we're gonna cover this up and then we're gonna feed the tier below, which is doing really good. It's doing really, really well. We're gonna give them an extra one and let them test out their max that they can consume for the week. All right, so we're back in this area. We're just gonna dig a little hole over here. Toss that guy in. Oop. Cover, or help cover. All right, so that means tier 4 got 4 rolls, and tier 3 got 3 rolls. That's easy to remember. And then last but not least, we're gonna check on this tier. I'm just gonna put all these castings that fell on the floor in here. So this tier is tier 1, and this is the same tier we've been starving for some time now. And the random sprouting things are still sprouting. Evidently there's still worms in here, which is fine. I believe it was D who was kind enough to suggest pulling out any of the random food scraps that might be in here. You're right, D. I think I probably should. I'm just a little torn on if I'm like how much of a rush am I in, but I think you're right. I think it's time. We're gonna, well, yeah, let's pull it out. See, because the other tier that we started, what is that, tier 2, I believe, that got the cardboard base essentially as the starting, I don't know, starter pack for the tier. That seems like it's doing well. It just doesn't have a lot of worms in it. So it's not that it's doing bad or anything. I feel really like I don't know how I'm testing it out, but like it's hard to have it go bad if there's not a lot of worms in there and you're also not feeding it a lot. So I kind of want some of these worms to migrate into that one, but I also would rather have better castings if I'm going to go through the process of harvesting. So if there's worms in here that think they're eating stuff and it's, I don't know, it's good stuff and they want to eat it, I don't want to stop them too much, but I think, like Dee said, pull out all the obvious food. So there really isn't that much in here, and it's all avocado based pieces. So, and I'll put, let's see, no, nothing there. I'll show you guys up close what we're looking at. I just want to pull out a few pieces here because there's, like I said, there's not really a lot, but I did want to show you guys there are less and less worms in here. Like there are obviously still worms, but definitely fewer and far between. So I know they're running out of food in here. Like there's some guys over here. Not a lot, but a few. So for now, we'll let this one carry on as is. I might pick through some of this. I'm not going to leave it open though, just because it's so hot right now. Like our heat index is already triple digits pretty much every day. So I don't really want to leave it open and exposed to, even though we're inside, it's still hot and sunny in here. So we're going to close them back up. I do keep them covered still, even though it is warmer. I like to think that this has been helping with the insulation of the heat. So I'm going to keep doing that because it never feels super warm or anything when I come in here. So I also believe it helps prevent flies from coming back in. So this is a little trick that's helped me. I will be doing a 1 year what I learned from vermicomposting, worm farming, whatever you like to call it. So stay tuned for that video. That'll have some of my top tips that I've learned, mostly the hard way, what not to do, what to do. And for anybody who's new or thinking about composting with worms, I think it'll probably be helpful for you because I'm speaking the same language you're speaking of newbiness. Alright friends, well thanks so much for hanging out, checking on the worms with me today. We will see you in about a week or so when we feed again.